the slab.
At 7 o'clock.
All right.
All right. So all.
Recording in progress.
All right. Carrie, whenever you're ready. All right. Good evening. We officially call to order at 7 o'clock on the dot p.m. Tuesday, October 28th, here at the lower level of it says Old Town Hall, but current town hall. If you could just please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. In attendance tonight, we do only have the three members and myself, chair. We have no members on Zoom tonight. So even though we are short members, we don't have any members on Zoom, so we don't need to do any roll call voting. We are just going to first confirm the next meeting date, which is Tuesday, November 18th. Sir, we only have one new item on the agenda tonight. If, in fact, that your case is continued to November 18th, would you be able to attend that meeting? Well, if something wasn't going to work, we would, if we had it available, we'd try to make something work. Obviously, that's not the Wednesday, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. It'd be the Tuesday after that. So, we're going to just go down to our agenda items in order. Review, discuss, and act. Stonegate Landing LLC, westerly side of Somerset Avenue, map line. Status update of Phase 1. Greg Logan has been our point person for this project. This agenda item. And we also have Veronica.
They're not online yet, so I don't know if maybe you want to.
Sure.
1 second. And then maybe wait for them to come in. We did have on the agenda the 40B committee discussion, so maybe if you want to do that while we're waiting.
Sure, let's do that. So I'm just do I have a motion to take these agenda items out of order? I'm gonna do 4-2 out of order and do that first. Is there
Wait a minute.
So we have Marguerite,
That's Mark.
but still waiting on Veronica. So we'll still just go ahead to do I have a motion to take these agenda items out of order?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll skip down to 40B committee. Discuss and determine zoning board of appeals 40B committee representative. And then I know last we were discussing on that we were looking to have possibly some correspondence or some kind of memo from Ralph to discuss that. Have we gotten anything from him yet?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
I mentioned it. I just mentioned it to him in general from a separate meeting I had with him
Yep.
a few weeks ago, and he said that he would take care of it. He said that he would speak to Carrie and take care of it.
Okay.
Do you have
So-
roughly how long ago that was?
That was about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks?
Yeah, that was before I
I'll
left.
talk to him
for-
tomorrow.
Okay.
For overseas.
All right.
But after he got back from his trip.
So that being said, I don't feel there's any need to discuss that anymore. That kind of was the outstanding piece that we were really waiting on.
Yes.
So then now that we have Marguerite, we're still waiting on Veronica. Greg, based on the discussions that you've had with Veronica, is there substantial discussion to be had with her here, or do you feel like we can discuss?
Well, we had a meeting a couple times with Veronica and also with Richard in regards to Stonegate Landing. So Veronica had reached out to a potential couple developers that was interested in doing, possibly looking at this project. Well, one of them that she had spoken to got back to him and said that it was a little more than what they could do at this time because they're finalizing some of their other ones. She has 15 others that she was saying that were going to reach out to. Thing is like the projects usually end in the month of January for the 40Bs, how it goes forward, and with the winter hours. A lot of construction doesn't go on through the winter, so she kind of said that if she could try to have until at least January
Oh, okay.
to try to get some other possible developers to come out and look at it. And that in one of our meetings that we had, Marguerite had mentioned that possibly, because I keep saying, I think it's in the best interest for everyone that we have someone come out and, based on the engineering that was done from Sampson, I think that we should have a company come out. Let's get a price, our own. It's free.
Like
That's
you mean like an updated cost to complete?
yeah, to do the infrastructure, let's get that back up to where it needs to be. So now we have a budget number we can work off of. I got to speak with Richard. You can't just go out there and do this without talking to Richard. So that's my next communication, will be reaching out to Richard, see if it's okay that I can get a couple companies to go out there, get us some numbers, at least so the town knows what the cost is, as well as the future possible developer will know what they're looking to spend on it.
And then so that's no cost
It
to.
wouldn't be a cost, it'd be a free estimate. They go out and they go on based on the report was done by Sampson and Watts.
And we can get that done before January.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna try to reach out to Richard in the next week, within this week, and see if I can get him on the horn, and just bring it up to him and say, hey, listen, man, I think I'd like to try this out. And I had said something to him in one of our last meetings that we had, and he was kind of like, well, let's see what the developer comes back with. And I mean, as coming in with not knowing, I'd rather know what I'm looking at.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's nothing for the town to have any expense to
No.
the town.
Except that let me just ask, that takes into account the infrastructure. It doesn't take into account the land and all that sort of other stuff that he's already paid for and purchased.
Right. That's.
Right.
So no, I'm talking Phase A,
Right, but no, I
Okay.
understand that.
just the
But-
infrastructure.
But so it doesn't take, when you say infrastructure, do you mean the
The
building?
roads, no, roads, if there is going to
Okay.
be sidewalks,
Okay, that's what I meant, yeah.
Okay.
things of that
So it's
nature.
not taking into account the entire,
No, not at
value.
all. I'm just trying to
Just
figure out
that
how I
part of
can
it.
get Phase A wrapped up,
Yep.
with at least get some type of budgeted number,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can at least that. So also, when Veronica reaches out to potential other developers that might be
she
interested
has
in
a partial figure.
she
to
can
work
say,
with.
hey, look, we got some numbers here. You know, obviously they're going to fluctuate.
Yep.
I know a few different companies that we can reach out to, and even then, you know, Richard might say, I have a guy too, you know, okay, I'd like 3 numbers. You know,
I'll take
just-
5 numbers. I mean,
well, at least
whatever
a
we can get.
few, so that we can compare apples to apples.
Yep.
So in the meantime, though, we're coming into the winter months.
Yes.
Who plows those streets in the meantime?
So far, right now, from what I understood, versus our meetings, Tommy Ferry has been plowing that place. And it's not a legal road.
Not a town
It's not a
town road.
So do we need to confirm that Tom's still willing to do that?
Well, so we did do something a while back, and it was for another development. Customer kept calling the police station saying
Yep.
that I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay. So that developer wasn't getting out there to do it, so we adopted that. All right, if that happens, we get phone calls on roads that we're about to accept but not being maintained by homeowners within these developments, that Tom Ferry would go through and clean and bill the developer.
So then if that's the case, because Richard needs to know that there's a billable there potentially,
Of course. Yep, and
we would probably need to make a motion and do that so that the chair can contact.
well, we're going to reach out to Richard first. Like I said, we've got a little bit of time before snow flies, hopefully.
Well, I'm just
I
saying.
know,
just in-
it's close.
you know,
No, it's a good point.
It
We've
is
had
a
a
Yeah,
couple,
hold
we've
on,
had a couple
Greg.
storms
Yeah.
in, in the end of October, a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
I-
so who
Hold on,
knows?
John, 1 second. Yes, Carrie?
So Richard from day one has always had Tom Ferry plow the roads. What he's done is, well, I don't wanna say from day one, but I know at least from the time being that I've been here, and even probably working up in the selectman's office, Tom Ferry, under one of our general bylaws, we have a general bylaw that says that if a developer or a road has 3 or more inches, or obviously if there's rain, sleet, or snow that's causing a public safety, Tom Ferry has the ability to go in there and plow it and then bill. And Richard actually sets it up every winter with Tom Ferry saying, I expect you to do this, and yes, I know you're gonna bill me. So, and that's how it's been done
But
for many years.
with a good point though is that
Is
with
that now we're not getting paid.
I was just gonna say with the
Yeah.
Now
financial
that's
difficulties.
a different issue, which
So-
I think he would have to speak to Margaret.
Yeah,
about
and
that part.
we did have that discussion a little bit, and it's something in regards to, as, right now, again, we can't talk about their homeowners association.
No.
No, but
No.
yeah, but there is some things we can talk about on this too as well.
But with,
The
so,
let me finish.
I'm sorry.
The homeowners association, also has funding, and they're the ones at the end will be on the hook for the upkeeping of that road being maintained.
You said they have funding. They have funds available to them.
Under the impression that, according to Veronica, there was monies. Again, I'm not speculating because we're not
That's
supposed
fine.
to talk about the homeowners
Yeah.
association. But there's some, so I have done some background research on how that was going about, without being told exactly what they
That's
have
fine.
in there.
Right.
There is some issues. Obviously, we know the homeowners association is a big issue with them right now.
Yes.
But yes, there is outstanding funds, monies owed on this. There is a cease and desist on this property for him to make any kind of money until he pays what he owes this town of Dayton, as well as any of the legal counsel 50G account needs to be brought up
Yep.
to snuff.
Well, let me ask then, because if Marguerite's on the line with us right now, I think you said she was on.
Yes.
Then if we're gonna enter into an agreement to make sure the town is gonna get paid for any snow removal, does that mean that Marguerite needs to send a letter, a formal legal notification to Richard to let him know that he is on the hook for any expenses associated?
Well, that only happened when Richard and Tom Ferry had their discussions.
Well, I don't know if it was a legal letter, and if it was just an
But it's
agreement.
something in our bylaw already about that.
I know, but I mean, now we're under the difference is that now we know he may not have money available. And we don't know how much is really in,
Nope.
unless you know
No,
how much is in that
no.
account.
Don't know.
So I think it would make sense for Marguerite, if she can respond, to send a letter to Richard to let him know that he will be responsible for all bills.
Yeah.
Marguerite?
So I want to be very careful because I'm hearing a couple of things that I'm just a little, I want to be very clear about what the role of the town is and what the role of the developer is. So first of all, I know Greg, I think it makes sense for you to go and have a conversation with Richard at the site and try to find out if you can assist with him getting some sort of sense of how much it's going to cost to address the infrastructure. But that is not something the town will actually be trying to obtain. That's something that you can encourage Richard to obtain. If you're looking for estimates to come for the town, there's a process that has to be followed. And I want to be really careful that if you're looking to work with Richard to try to encourage him to get estimates, he can do that privately. But if the town's looking to get its own estimates, it needs to follow very, very different procedures. And this is not a request by the town for estimates to be obtained for a private development.
I was
In
just trying
addition,
to
Yeah.
say, like,
I hear
help
you. I know what you're doing.
Veronica to get some,
Yep.
I wouldn't
agree,
wanna
and
come in
but
blindsided,
That's
that's all.
for us to encourage Richard
Yes.
to try to provide to Veronica.
Okay.
In response to your questions, Jonathan, again, the same thing happens. There's a town bylaw that says when there's a public safety issue, that the town can come in and take care of plowing the roads and bill that development. There's no need for there to be an agreement by the town, nor should there, because you have a bylaw to do that. You bill the development, it's the responsibility of the development. I don't know if there's funds in the homeowners association or not. If there is an open balance, then the town can put a lien on the property. They don't need a separate agreement to do that. We don't need a letter that tells him that. It's something that happens. It's a fair question to ask what's gonna happen to the plowing of the road, and to find out what's been happening recently in the last years, but it remains the responsibility of the developer and the homeowners association in this case, because it is not a town-owned road, to take care of the upkeep and maintenance of that roadway. If they don't, the town does have the ability to alleviate a public safety situation, come in and charge the development with the cost of doing that. And that option still remains and still should be utilized. Perhaps, again, the homeowners association may decide to find a way to, establish itself. I don't wanna say establish itself, it's established. There is a homeowners association for this development. It's been recorded, it has rules, it has requirements, it has obligations. Whatever private agreement Richard came up with the individual houses is between him and those people as to who pays what fees. But there still is a homeowners association, it still has responsibilities under your comprehensive permit. and it still has responsibilities, because the roadway has not been accepted as a public way. So that homeowners association, if it's not functioning, I think, again, as the board, you should strongly encourage the homeowners in that development to get a functioning homeowners association started, and for them to put together sufficient fees to cover the expenses and maintenance that they have for the public infrastructure, or the shared infrastructure that's in that development. And that includes not just the roadways and the upkeep and maintenance of the roadways, but also stormwater, et cetera. So, I want to be clear that all of the work that you're doing and talking about right now is work that the town can do to encourage the developer to take action, and to remind the developer of what his responsibilities are, and to certainly provide, if the homeowners call, to tell them that they also have rights and actions that they can take privately themselves, to take care of this, because they have a homeowners association that exists and is already created and formed and recorded, and there's bylaws and rules that pertain to how it operates, and they can act on that. But the steps that the town is taking is strictly to do, working meetings with the developer to try to facilitate, perhaps, as we've been discussing, perhaps a potential buyer coming in and taking this over.
Does what you're saying right now include the free cost to complete that Greg was mentioning earlier?
Yeah, that can't be something the town,
Right, it's
Fire.
not, it's gonna, so what I should rephrase is
Okay.
that I'm speaking with Richard, because I've been doing this along.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to try to tell him that it's in the best interest for him for a sale, to know what it's gonna cost.
I
We'll
see.
get multiple costs.
I see.
The town of Dayton, not that the zoning board's doing it.
Oh, okay.
Richard would be doing it, and then Jeff Tarnito, and some other folks that he's
and these
involved with.
estimates need to go to Richard,
Richard.
Stonegate, Campanella.
Absolutely.
They should not be given to the town of Dayton, because there are, there's rules around bids and obtaining estimates from people, and acquiring contractors and using vendors that the town has to abide by. This is not an estimate going to the town, this is an estimate going to the private development, going to Stonegate Landings LLC, or to Richard, or to GER, whoever they want to make it, but it's not, it's something, Greg, that you can certainly facilitate the discussion about, but there needs to be that clear boundary. This is not an
Sure.
estimate that's being given to the town.
Okay, I see.
Marguerite, let me ask you though, because you mentioned, the question of liens, and I know it may be premature, but considering we have the issue with the 53G account, considering we have the issue with the back property tax, considering we have the issue potentially with snow removal and so forth, what's the point where we say it's time to put a lien on the property, and that way, not only does Richard know there's a lien on the property, but any prospective developers know that there's a lien on the property for time of sale?
At any point in time that the town has incurred a debt, they have the ability to do that. They can put that lien on the property if they want to, at any point in time. You could pay off the 53G account outstanding invoices and lien the property because you've expended money. You could, say that, I don't know at what point in time the town decides. I'm sure that they've had developments where their bills from the highway department have gotten high enough that they've decided that it's worth it to put a lien on the property. The tax, if his taxes increase to a certain level, they would put a lien on the property for all of that. Those are decisions made sometimes by different departments. There's nothing that prohibits the town from doing that now. Obviously, it does cost some money to develop, to prepare that lien and to record that lien. So I think usually there's probably some sort of limit threshold of balance that they'll do that for. But it doesn't eliminate, the fact that there isn't a lien on the property doesn't necessarily eliminate the debt from being owed. But it does, once the lien is in place, it does make it harder to transact, to do anything with the title to that property until the lien is paid. So if there's
And do
I
all
thought
the,
that there's gonna be a lien, a transaction occurring, with any of these properties, and you don't believe you're gonna be getting your funds paid out of those accounts, I would strongly encourage the town to.
so for example, for the 53G account, which is ZBA, So it might make sense to put a lien for the 53G figure, but if it's for property tax and for highway, they would have to put their own on, is that right?
So the 53G account is only going to become available for a lien if they actually pay the funds from that. If you pay your bills from that account and you're carrying a deficit. If, right now, there are bills that are outstanding that haven't been paid, so the town hasn't paid, and then there's also the situation with funds that were, paid and then withdrawn. So there
Right.
is some money that has been paid out by the town. I believe that's through the treasurer and collector's office, Carrie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I think that if the town were to decide to pay the bills, that are outstanding on the 53G account, I suspect that would also need to be a conversation about what budget would that money come out of, because you need to have that conversation again with probably the town accountant, or, to figure out what department are you making that payment out of.
Greg, do you have
And
anything? Do you have anything else?
No, pretty much, like I say, Veronica is going to reach out to quite a few other developers. And I did ask a question in one of our meetings in regards to, is there a time limit on a 40B project? Okay, 12, that's what I thought, right? But I guess the way the new rules and laws is, we can actually put a time limit for a development. Am I correct on that, Marguerite, for the next 40B that would come in, so this doesn't, let's put it this way, they're already doing roofs on houses that are in that development.
Because it's been so long. I know.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, typically, you can establish requirements for, certain types of permitting to occur, like obtaining a building permit, obtaining an occupancy permit. You can put some timeframes and limits on that.
Okay.
Those are not atypical conditions for 40B developments now. As I mentioned to Greg when he asked this question, I'm not sure that would really actually keep what's happened right now from occurring.
No.
Because he had already started with building permits. However, I think that the state has changed the way that that's 40B developers in the past 20 years dramatically. And I think that you would likely see any 40B application coming before Dayton, which, as you may recall, requires prior approval from the state with regard to both the developer and, in general, the preliminary proposal as one of the preconditions for the board to move forward with the permitting process. And I think you would see a different type of developer. You wouldn't be seeing the developers that started with this project, and I don't think Richard's background and lack of 40B experience would be something that the state would be supportive of if he didn't bring other people on who had.
And I made sure I said to Veronica, we wanted an educated as well as seasoned person to take on if it does go to another.
I think that's all that she deals with. It sounds like it's. I mean, I'm not just
but
saying
I
that.
just want to make
no,
sure,
no,
because
absolutely.
I'm not trying to get someone in here just to say, I'll take that on, and then they still got this road deal.
Right.
So, but she knows that. She's really working hard on it. I know we had a good meeting, and like I say, but I really think we should table anything with Stonegate Landing. We can reach out between Carrie and I, reach out to Richard. Have Richard reach out to me. I'll talk to him. I just want to tell him, Richard, I want him to understand that it's better for him.
So table is in like keep it off the agenda until you tell us otherwise to put it on.
Yes.
Fine.
Because right now there's no action being done. There's a cease and desist on the property. Nothing can be done.
See nothing wrong with that.
At this point. And then let's see, give Veronica a chance. See what can come of it, and maybe me and Richard can talk, and we can make that work so he can get a quote, so he knows, what it's going to be. So if a developer wants to come aboard, he's not going to have to go out there and guess and think what it's going to cost. He'll have a rough idea from Richard what it's going to cost, and then that's something that I'm going to try to work on while Veronica's working on her end.
Okay. Margaret, do you have anything else?
No, I support Greg's suggestion that this be tabled for now.
Okay. That being said, Margaret, I think we're all set. Do you mind if I just call you after our meeting? You around?
No, feel free.
All right, thank you. All right.
Okay?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
I
you.
do think you need it to make a motion to table, well, actually.
It's kind of been a long
It's a
standing.
public hearing, so I guess you're okay. Yep,
We
you're
did.
fine.
Okay.
So I think what would probably make sense is, Greg, that if at some point in time when you're ready to report to the board, maybe, you could ask the chairman to add it to the agenda for that next meeting.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And I want to bring something to your attention. When we were in one of our meetings, I seen some paperwork that had my father's name on it. He was the building inspector in Dayton for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So we're going to run into this once in a while. So I reached out to the Ethics Commission. They sent me a form. I'm going to fill it out. I'm going to give it to the selectmen. I just don't, and I asked them, I can be the person to go to talk to Richard and all this stuff.
Can,
I
correct.
do not want to be a voting member on this case,
For anything that comes up.
on this case.
So they just to clarify, you said can be a point person.
I can be the point.
Just
person.
cannot be a.
Yes.
Voting member.
I heard him. I just want to make sure that we heard it for the record. That
Absolutely.
can be a point person,
Yeah,
just cannot,
and I
or
would-
does not want to be a voting member for anything else going
And
forward
I'll
for this
reach out
case.
to the secretary of the selectmen and get some minutes of the meeting. so I
Okay.
can
That's
bring
similar,
that to
similar
them.
to what I had years ago with the development that I'm in.
Yes,
Very
exactly.
similar
Yeah.
process.
Okay.
I just want to bring it to everyone's attention. I started seeing
Yep.
some of his names in this
Oh.
paperwork, and I'm like,
Yeah, absolutely.
so,
All right, Marguerite, thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you
Thanks.
all, have a nice
You
evening.
too.
Thank you.
Bye, Marguerite.
Moving on to our public hearing case. The only public hearing case we have today is for Thomas Ransley, 2158 Water Street, map 20, lot 57, variance application. I'm going to read the notice as it was posted publicly, and then, John, I will need 3 voting members.
Chairman, point of order.
Yes.
This is a neighbor of mine, so I cannot be a point person on this.
You need a voting member?
Okay.
Okay. So we have the notice of public hearing. This was stamped by the clerk on September 8th, 2025. Notice is hereby given. The Dayton Zoning Board of Appeals will conduct a public hearing at Town Hall, 979 Somerset Avenue, lower level, Dayton, MA, on Tuesday, October 28th, 2025, at 7 p.m. on the variance application of Thomas Ransley for a property located at 2158 Water Street, being shown on Assessor's Map 20, Lot 57, pursuant to Section 2620, Table of Dimensional Requirements, Appendix B, of the Town of Dayton zoning bylaw, in order to construct a garage with a side setback of 5 feet. Any persons interested or wishing to be heard on this matter should attend this hearing. Copies of the application are available in the Dayton Zoning Board of Appeals office, the Dayton Zoning Board of Appeals website, or upon request can be viewed by email or by calling 508-669-6431, extension 114, or emailing keasterday at dayton-ma.gov. Dayton Zoning Board of Appeals, Chairman Zachary Karen. John, I guess we only have 3 options for our voting members tonight. They will be,
Sorry.
Myself,
yep,
you, and Dave.
John Gale, Zachary Karen, Dave Phillips. All right, so the applicant may present their case whenever they are ready. How are you?
How you doing, Mr. D'Souza? D'Souza?
Just a full set of prints if you want them.
Yep.
How you doing?
Doing fine. How are you, Dave?
I just don't mind. We have it. So state your name for the record. We have a chance, sir.
Sure, John D'Souza, North Connewood.
All right, take it away, sir.
So, my clients have lived at this property now for a very long time. It's a triangular shaped ledge, if you will, across the street from the Taunton River.
Yep.
So the shape of the lot is very hard,
Unique to say the least.
unique. There's also a border and vegetated wetland that's running along the southwest.
I'm just gonna turn it around so I can hear you. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's like watching little. So there's a border and vegetated wetland that's running along the west-southwest. Property runs up the whole side. There's actually salt marsh in through that whole area. Where the house was situated, it was put there obviously a long time ago for the view of the river. There's a septic system that just off of the garage side on the right-hand side. There's kind of a hill in front of the house, and then it dips down into almost a hole between the house and Water Street. On the back side of the house, he currently has a couple of containers, and he wants to make that into the garage and possibly a woodshed. There's not much room anywhere on the lot, and that would be the best spot for the garage and the wood shop. I know we have our hands full still with the Conservation Commission because they got a 25-foot no-touch zone.
Right.
But I believe the no-touch zone came in after the creation of the slot, so we should be grandfathered in on that to some point. So we have another battle there. But right now, my client's seeking relief. We're going to be approximately 5 feet from the northerly lot line, and from the rear corner, it's 60 feet, and then from the south westerly line, we're going to be about 11.4 feet. And the corner of the garage is going to be approximately 15 feet from the corner of the house. So if the board has any questions?
Just, I guess it's kind of only because we've faced this in the past. By calling it a two-car garage, there's no plans to put cars in that garage?
No, there is. It's going to be half garage and half a workshop.
Okay, and based on where your asphalt driveway is that going to involve changing the shape of your driveway?
He's going to run like a gravel or crushed stone.
Wait, was this gravel area right there?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right up to the entry point.
Okay.
We're not going to add more asphalt because.
It didn't really. It wouldn't really matter. It's more just me curious as to. Okay.
Yep.
And the couple containers that are there, are they gonna be,
Those will be moved.
Moved.
Yeah. So if we get approval from the Conservation Commission, which I hope we do, without going to the DEP, but we may have to go that route. But other than that, hopefully it all goes smooth. But
Carrie, it seems like this from this Gerald F. Bernard.
Yeah,
Is that the only correspondence we have regarding this case?
that's the only thing I've got.
All right, so I do just need to read this into the record. This is to the Board of Health from Gerald F. Bernard, dated October 21st, subject variance request for 2158 Water Street. At the request of the Town of Dayton Board of Health, I have done some cursory review of the submitted variance request for 2158 Water Street in the Town of Dayton. The applicant, Thomas Ramsey, has requested to build a 24-foot by 30-foot garage on the west side of the subject property. To do so, Mr. Ramsey has requested a variance from the Dayton zoning requirement of a 15 feet sideline setback requirement, 5 foot and 11.4 foot provided. The proposed location of the garage does not interfere with nor impact the existing septic system shown as the attached plan. However, the attached plan does not show the location of the municipal water service or a private water supply well, so impacts to those are unknown. I am readily available should you require any additional information or input on this matter. Thank you.
Are you gonna be, is there gonna be water there? Is there gonna be access to water in the garage, or valves, or is there gonna be hookup for outside hose on the garage?
there'll be probably a hookup for an outside hose, but that's it. We're not looking to run any
So I
plumbing in there whatsoever.
guess, I mean, it's the point that he brought up, but it wouldn't really impact the garage, correct, Carrie? I was kind of surprised when
Water?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not, it's not, if he, not that he is, but hypothetically, if he was looking to put an in-law apartment or something that would require a bathroom, and I guess that would be, a different story, but, talking about the water service, I can't imagine, Greg, I know you're not a voting member, but you still have a right to make any comments or answer any questions, but just for my clarification, is there a reason why this letter
It was just not clarified on the drawing.
Okay.
Pretty much what I think he saw.
Oh yeah, right. But I mean, I don't think that would impact.
I don't see that to be a major impact to anything.
I just-
running a hose out to that, a bib onto the outside of the building.
And I think I think they would have said so if they felt that way. I just want to make sure that I wasn't
There's
missing
no
anything.
bathrooms or anything.
No.
in this thing, yeah, so I don't see that to be anything, but I think that's why he wrote that, because he didn't see it.
Okay.
labeled on there.
Will there be any electrical, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna run electric out there, yes, from the house.
As a voting member, I mean, I'm not a resident. I happened to walk down the street Saturday, coincidentally, and I think not that the air in general needs cleaning up, but in any part of town where someone is trying to clean up their property, and if taking out storage containers and putting in a shed would obviously do that to this property. That's something I factor into the impact of the abutters. Obviously, we don't. You're Thomas, sir. So we don't have any abutters here that are
Nobody I know is opposed.
know that in the area is opposed to it. I personally don't see any reason to
Right
deny,
beside
but
Lane Field, it's the town owns out here is a ball field.
right, right.
You know,
It's how you guys, Dave, any comments or questions?
No, I mean, I'm familiar with the property. We all play ball in that field
Yeah.
at some point in time. That's why I was asking about the containers there.
Do you have any?
And I mean,
Sorry. Go ahead.
as for the hardship with in this cone-shaped lot, I mean it's tight right there to the 5 feet to the fence. But I mean, it's gonna, and like you said, Zach, it's gonna clean up that. It's gonna make it.
And for the record, I don't want to sound like this probably
Right,
needs
no,
cleaning up. I'm
no.
not all saying that, but
But
anything to
it's definitely going to be an upgrade,
yeah.
aesthetic-wise.
Is the garage a single floor, 2 floor?
It's single floor,
Single floor?
yeah.
Would you be amenable to putting,
What's that?
We're working on the
It hasn't been designed yet, right?
Yep. No.
the question, so then the question I have is, would you be amenable to an agreement, if we were to add an agreement to it, that there will not be a second floor and that it will never be used as an ADU?
Accessory dwelling unit that you would have no intention to turn it into a livable space.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just asking if we include that in there.
although
I
the
don't know
garage
if
may
we
have
can.
some attic space,
No, I didn't know.
but
that.
it won't be.
How big the big building was.
Yeah, no, it isn't gonna be that large, but, I mean, even to do like an ADU, he'd have to go through the
Oh,
Board of
I mean,
Health.
they're talking septic and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a huge mess, and he's not going anywhere near that.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna be around that much longer now.
Sorry, I have
By the end of this meeting.
But it hasn't been.
No.
Yeah.
Want to shop, garage, a place to fix things, build things. I've
Yeah.
been working outside for the last 2 years.
Um,
I'm too old.
as a voting member, I personally don't have any need to hear anymore. I'm content to make the decision that I want to make tonight. How about the other two voting members?
There are no abutters, right? What's the closest
Correct.
house?
He likes it. Greg, Greg's next door.
John, to answer your
Not you, the other Greg name.
John, to answer your question, it looks like that so technically
Town of Dayton.
you're right, the entire 30 feet the length of the garage is only along the Town of Dayton owned parcel.
Okay,
It is
right.
near
Yeah.
2140 owned by Gregory Ferreira, but it does not that the garage is quite a few feet away from his property. So really the biggest abutter that would be impacted would be the Town of Dayton.
Is it close enough to Mr. Ferrera's property that a fence should be considered behind it? or
No,
not?
it's
No.
further beyond.
It's
I know, John,
Yeah,
you
no,
can't see,
yeah.
but no, it's a good question. But no, it's definitely farther or not far enough away that
At
that's
least 15 feet
no,
beyond that.
yeah, no, not anything that I would
Okay.
be worried about. That being said, I'm just gonna make a motion that we close the public input portion, unless you guys have anything else you want to add.
It just happened to design guy.
Yep. No, that's fine. It doesn't have to be. But by our requirements, it doesn't have to be designed. It's just, I mean, it's a question that some board members ask, but yeah, height, right. All right. So, is there a motion to close the public input portion of this case?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Board members, do you have any further deliberation on this topic?
No.
All right. Being a voting member, I will make the motion that we approve the case for Thomas Ransley, 2158 Water Street, for the garage for his variance application.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, Zachary. I think I stepped down. I technically made the motion.
Aye,
Sen-
David Phillips.
Seconded, and then John
Yep.
also approved. So, all right. So you guys are all set.
All right, thank you
Thanks very much.
Simple.
That's it. All right.
That's one hurdle down.
That's one roll down.
Now go design.
All right. Correspondence. Do we have any public input or correspondence? Carrie.
No.
No, we do not. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the meeting minutes from September 23rd, 2025?
So moved.
Is there a second?
All right, guys.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Dr. Karen.
Hi, Greg Logan.
Jonathan Gale.
Aye, David Phillips.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll
There's-
second that, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. Bye.